You're listening to 105.5 The Colorado Sound, and remember, you can hear us everywhere at coloradosound.org. Always appreciate you making us part of your evening. My name's Ben, on with you until 2 a.m. The band Graveyard Choir, they have their album release show at Washington's on Saturday. We're really excited to be presenting that show, and I'm very excited to be in studio with Nate Valdez and Thom of the band Graveyard Choir. Guys, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course, glad to be here.
You have your album release show for The Wake on Saturday. Like I said, we're presenting that show at Washington's. We're really excited. What's something you're most proud of when it comes to this album?
Ooh, for the new album.
For the new album, yes.
I really enjoyed the songwriting process. Getting to most of our songwriting starts with Nate, and then it comes the rest of our way, and it was fun to take a little bit more time and be a little bit more deliberate on this album versus the first album, Restorative Art, that we released last year. So that's something that I'm probably the most proud of, other than just getting it all put together and out. I think that's the hardest part, is you can write music, but you got to release it, So putting in all the effort to get it out into the world, that's where the rewards come from.
And Nate, I've had several conversations with you throughout the years. I've always enjoyed them very much. And you've mentioned to me before that you're always writing songs. What was the process like for this album?
Well, we kind of had more of an idea and an understanding of what we wanted to accomplish. So writing for this one in particular was like, okay, I know where we're going. I know we have an idea. We were a lot more prepared, and we actually had more tools in our case than we did last time. We have Jen singing with us, and then we had like more, like I said, just like more of an idea. So like with all that in mind, instead of just shooting in the dark like the first record, we're just like, this is a handful of songs that are like maybe gonna be something together. So this was like, no, we know what we're doing.
Well, and you just mentioned with this band, Graveyard Choir, that you have more tools in the kit. You just have more people to work with. For those who don't know, Nate Valdez, previously of the duo In the Whale, what is the difference for you in just managing a full and complete band as compared to when it was just you and Eric?
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. And I'm so thankful for Thom, because he's like number two for this group, because he's like kind of the wrangler for everybody. He does everything. Like I don't know if I'm just like not built for it or like maybe just like emotionally inept to be able to handle other people's schedules. I'm like, I don't know. With Eric and within the Whale, it was like I just sent Eric a text and that was it, right? But with this, like Thom is coordinating 5 human beings' lives and getting things together and making it happen. So I'm just like, all right, Thom, this is what I think we need to do. And he's like, all right. And then like a few minutes later, he's like, okay, well, this is what we can do. It's nice, but I can't do it. So I'm thankful for Thom.
I'm talking to Nate and Thom of the band Graveyard Choir. They'll be at the Federal Theater in Denver on Halloween, and we're presenting Graveyard Choir's album release show for their new album, The Wake, on Saturday at Washington's. You can get all the details for that Washington show. Head over to our concert calendar at coloradosound.org. Now, Nate and Thom, pretend you're talking to somebody who's never heard of Graveyard Choir. How would you describe that band to somebody?
It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with Lay's potatoes chips on it. I'm just kidding. We got kind of given the moniker of Gothic Americana, and we like that. I think that's kind of a quick elevator explanation of it. Americana is such a broad spectrum of music, spanning from like rockabilly to jazz to, early Delta music. So you can do a lot of different things in the Americana realm, and that's why we consider ourselves in there. But the nature of our music, the content of the music is kind of enforced the Gothic part, with some of the darker trends, but it's rock, it's Americana, it's got some Western, it's got some, kind of Southern red dirt, so it's
all that mixed up in a nice little blender.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I feel like the easy pitch is Gothic Americana, and we didn't ask for that. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, that's what it is." Just like they were just like, "Yeah, that's what it is."
Yeah.
I was like,
I guess that is what it is.
Okay.
I guess it is. Nate, you have mentioned before that you're always writing songs, and I've read that your time in a mortuary
yeah,
helped inspire a lot of the music for Graveyard Choir.
right.
How true is that?
Well, yeah, my grandfather owned a mortuary in the small town of Los Animas, Colorado. Not Los Alamos or not Los, whatever. It's Los Animas.
Animus.
Southeast
Yes.
corner of Colorado, the ugly, prairie side of it. He had a mortuary out there, and I would help him. And at 15, I was able to go in and help him dress bodies and get people prepared for stuff. So it's always been part of my life. Then when I went to college, and Eric and I started doing really well, we decided to move to Denver, and the economy was kind of bad, but we needed to have a job. So I went and applied, and I worked at a mortuary in Denver for years. I worked for Crown Hill on the west side over on Wadsworth, and then I also was part-time working for the Denver County Coroner. So I would go to like homicide and murder scenes and things like that, and I would help pick up people that had been deceased or murdered or maimed. And so it's always been kind of like a part of my family, and doing that. It's they say in the mortuary you never just like go into it. It's like usually a family or somebody has brought you in there. And then when I was writing this music, it's like I want to kind of talk about some of the darker themes, kind of things that are like maybe a little more interesting to me. And what a cool vehicle to do it than Americana, and just kind of lap steel and that kind of stuff. So
It's perfect for Gothic Americana, I
Right.
would say. I have one more for you guys. I'm talking to Nate and Thom of Graveyard Choir. Don't forget, they'll be at the Federal Theater in Denver on Halloween, and we're presenting them at Washington's on Saturday for their album release show. Now, I ask this to every band or artist that I talk to, so I have to ask both of you. Nate and Thom, what band or artist would you drive 105.5 miles to go see? It can be any band or artist ever. It could be Beethoven. You just have to drive 105.5 miles to go see him.
I feel like I have a huge list because
name
I've
a few,
done this.
Thom.
Yeah. There's kind of an ambiguous answer, but somebody that surprises you. I love when artists surprise you. Jen and I both are big Murder by Death fans, so that's definitely a band that I would drive to go see. I'm a big fan of Sia. I would drive to go see Sia in a smaller setting. I got to see her at the Bluebird, and that was awesome. That was kind of before she got enormous. Probably Half Moon Run.
I like those answers.
that's all over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for, Nate. Now
Yeah.
you're on the clock.
I mean, out of the years that you and I have been interviewing, like I've said something from Dinosaur Jr. to
Yeah.
like the Smashing Pumpkins
Yeah.
to like Mute Math and like things like that. I think something that I've revisited that was part of my childhood or growing up is that I really listened to a lot of At the Drive-In.
Oh, yes.
So I know they have
Great band.
reformed without, the guys that are formed Sparta or
Yeah.
whatever.
Just the one guy.
Just the one guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just him. He's out. But I would still, like, in the heyday, I would go back and drive. I would go to see him. I would love to see
At the Drive-In.
the original At the Drive-In when they were doing it at the height. It was like 2000s or whatever.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I would, man, that would be so cool. Maybe
love
scary, but like super cool.
It'd be a little scary, but yes, very much worth it.
Yeah.
Talking to Nate and Thom of Graveyard Choir. Remember, they'll be at the Federal Theater on Friday in Denver, and we're presenting them at Washington's on Saturday for their album release show. Those details can be found at our concert calendar at coloradosound.org. Nate and Thom, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you.